The RV industry is selling you a solution that's too big to park, too expensive to maintain, and impossible to take off-road. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you why camper trucks are about to make Class C motorhomes obsolete. You'll see a shift that's already happening in the market, and by the end, you'll understand why one specific feature changes everything about long-term travel. This isn't about preference, it's about physics. If you've ever driven a traditional RV, you know the anxiety. Every gas station becomes a geometric puzzle. Every mountain road turns into a white-knuckle experience. And when you finally get to that remote campsite you saw online, you can't fit through the access road. You're stuck paying for RV parks because you need hookups, and you're burning through fuel like you're driving a small building, which, to be fair, you are. Camper trucks exist because someone finally asked, what if we built around the truck instead of in spite of it? Picture a Ford F350 with a custom flatbed and a pop-top camper mounted to the frame. It sits low, aerodynamic shell, matte aluminum finish. But here's what matters. When the top is collapsed, the entire profile is under 8 feet tall. You can park it in a normal garage, drive it through a fast food line, fit it in a standard parking spot. The camper unit is removable in under an hour, which means your truck is still a truck when you need it to be. No RV can do that. And that's just the beginning. The sleeping area is in the pop top. When you raise the roof, you get 6.5 feet of headroom and a queen-size memory foam mattress. It's insulated. It has screens on all 4 sides. And because it's elevated, you're not giving up any floor space below. In the winter, you close the top and sleep on the convertible dinette at ground level. Heat rises, so the lower area stays warmer with less propane. You're working with the environment instead of fighting it. Most RVs give you one sleeping option and call it done. But the real advantage shows up when you look at the main cabin. The kitchen is a galley-style setup on the driver's side. 2-burner propane stove, stainless steel sink, 12-volt compressor fridge built into the cabinetry. The counter space is 40 inches long, which is more than most camper vans. And here's the key detail. Everything is designed for propane and 12-volt power. No inverter needed, no shore power required. You can cook a full meal without touching your battery bank. That's the difference between 3 days off-grid and 3 weeks off-grid. Efficiency isn't a feature, it's the foundation. The next part is where most RV manufacturers lose the plot entirely. Under the dinette, there's a full-width storage compartment, 4 feet wide, 2 feet deep, accessible from inside or outside through a lockable hatch. This is where your tools live, your recovery gear, your generator if you carry one. The overhead cabinets are marine grade with positive latches, so nothing opens while you're driving. And because the camper is only 7 feet wide, you still have the full truck bed rails exposed. You can mount jerry cans, max tracks, a rooftop tent, whatever you need. The truck is still functional. You're not choosing between payload and living space. Now let's talk about the part most people get wrong. There isn't one. Not a fixed bathroom. Anyway, there's a cassette toilet stored in an exterior compartment and a portable solar shower bag mounted to the back wall. For some people, that's a deal breaker. For others, it's freedom. You're not managing black water tanks or searching for dump station. You're not running a macerator pump or dealing with sewer hoses. You use the cassette like a normal toilet, and when it's full, you empty it in any public restroom. Takes 2 minutes. No smell, no mess. The shower situation is the same. Heat water in the bag, hang it from the awning, and you're done. It's primitive by RV standards, but it's also bomb-proof. Here's where it gets interesting for remote workers. The dinette converts into a workspace in about 10 seconds. Drop the table to desk height. Plug into the 12-volt outlet strip. You've got a 3 0-inch deep work surface with a view out the rear window. The bench seats are actually comfortable because they're not doubling as a bed frame with plywood underneath. And because the pop top is up during the day, you have full standing headroom. You're not hunched over like you're working in a cave. Most RVs give you a fold-out table that blocks the walkway and calls it an office. This is a real workspace that doesn't compromise anything else. And here's the part that's going to make traditionalists angry. Camper trucks are better than Class C motorhomes for full-time living, and it's not even close. A Class C is a box on a van chassis that drives like a school bus and gets 8 miles per gallon. A camper truck is a legitimate off-road vehicle that happens to have a bed and a kitchen. You can take it places an RV will never go. You can daily drive it without looking ridiculous. And when you're done traveling, you unbolt the camper and sell it separately, or keep the truck for work. An RV depreciates the second you drive it off the lot and becomes a maintenance nightmare after 5 years. Some people will disagree with this, and honestly, they should. But if you're spending 6 figures on a rig, ask yourself if you really need a toilet you can use while driving. Let me know what you think. Let's talk numbers. A quality truck camper setup is going to run you between $40,000 and $70,000. That includes the truck, the camper, and the basic modifications. You can go cheaper with a used setup or more expensive with custom builds. A comparable Class C motorhome starts at $80,000 and goes up fast. But here's the trade-off. Camper trucks are smaller. You don't get a bathroom or a shower. You're not walking around inside while someone else drives. And if you need to bring 4 people, you're out of luck. This is a 2-person rig, maybe 3 if one of you is a kid. It's not for everyone, but for solo travelers or couples who value mobility over square footage, it's the smarter investment. There's one design element in modern camper trucks that doesn't get enough attention, and it's the reason they work so well off-grid. The center of gravity. In a traditional RV, all the weight is high and distributed unevenly. The fridge is on one side. The water tank is in the back. You're constantly fighting body roll and instability. In a truck camper, the weight sits directly over the axles. The heaviest components, water, batteries, propane, are mounted as low as possible. That means better handling, better fuel economy, and way less wear on the suspension. But it also means you can take rough roads without worrying about cabinets ripping off the walls or your fridge sliding across the floor. It's not glamorous, but it's the difference between a rig that lasts 5 years and one that lasts 20. If you have a friend who's looking at buying their first RV, send them this video before they sign anything. Not because camper trucks are perfect, but because most people don't realize there's an alternative. The RV industry has spent decades convincing you that bigger is better. More slide outs, more amenities, more debt. But the people who are actually living on the road full time aren't driving 40-foot diesel pushers. They're in vans, trucks, and trailers that they can maintain themselves and take anywhere. This isn't about being minimalist for the sake of it. It's about choosing a rig that matches how you actually want to live, not how a dealership thinks you should live. Here's the bottom line. Camper trucks are taking over because they do one thing extremely well. They get you to places other rigs can't reach, and they let you stay there longer. Traditional RVs are optimized for campgrounds and highway travel. Camper trucks are optimized for everything else. By 2026, you're going to see more of these on the road than Class Cs, not because of trends, because the physics and economics make sense. Next video, I'm breaking down a hybrid truck camper with a slide out that doubles your interior space, fully off-grid capable, under $50,000. Would you trade a built-in bathroom for true off-road capability? Comment below. I'm curious where people draw the line.